Hello everybody, welcome to my channel today. So I have been getting a lot of questions when I posted my latest video on supplement empties. I always do a beauty empties. I actually started this channel as being kind of beauty, lifestyle, that sort of thing. And I started adding what vitamins I finished up because I think those also kind of relate to beauty. And I've done that for the past couple months. I'll link that below if you're interested. And then I started getting a lot of questions about health and fitness and all that kind of stuff. And I think it also stems because I do kind of have a background in fitness. Now, I am not a trained professional. I always start off with that disclaimer. However, I do have a bit of a background in fitness. I have competed in fitness competitions. I have been coached by professionals. I have a lot of information that I can share that I would love to pass on to you guys, and you guys seem to be very interested. But again, I'm not a professional, but if you are interested in hearing a little bit more about my background, being a fitness competitor, and I also touch on kind of my background in fitness as well. I'm a former CFL cheerleader, not that that makes me an athlete, but I always have tried to keep in shape and live a healthy lifestyle. So that kind of explains that. So I'll link that video below. So I'm not going to really get into a lot of detail about that. But a couple of you reached out to me just lately, especially when I posted my latest supplements, to say, please, can you give me some tips on where to start to get into shape and to start a healthy lifestyle? So I have compiled a list of 10 things that I think are just like small little things to just try and just to get started, because I know it is very overwhelming, and especially if you are so far removed from fitness or healthy eating and you just don't know where to begin, because there's so much information out there, a lot of fad diets, a lot of fad workout things that come up all the time, and sometimes it's very overwhelming. You don't know where to begin. So I'm just going to give you 10 little tips and tricks that I have followed throughout my life and seem to help me. And the other thing I'm just going to mention, the elephant in the room, I have another one of these stupid cysts, and I have an appointment this afternoon with a dermatologist to have it injected. I'm not waiting. I know that they just take forever and they never heal. So that's that. So let's just get that out of the way. So the first one is, I like to have a goal. For me personally, if it just is, I want to look good in a swimsuit to suntan in my backyard, it's just not enough motivation to put that cupcake down. Or I just like to have a goal, whether it's a health-related goal. Maybe your doctor has advised you that you need to, kind of a scary warning, that you need to make some changes to your diet or fitness, or a reunion coming up. Maybe you're newly single and you want to get back into shape or health or those kinds of things. Maybe you're booked a cruise and you want to look really nice in a bathing suit or your evening gowns, and I know there's a lot of formal events. Something like that. For me personally, I find that really, really helps, is to have some sort of goal. Maybe you bought a dress. I have a friend that bought a wedding dress, and she had to order it in, and they ordered in the wrong size for her, and it was actually 2 sizes too small, and she made it a goal. I'm going to fit in that dress. I'm not going to reorder it. So just things like that I find really, really helps to have a goal. And also to set small goals. Maybe if you're running, maybe say, this week I'm going to run for 5 minutes and then reach that goal. Maybe next week I'm going to run for 10 minutes. So just start with simple goals. Don't do them too high that are unattainable, because then you're just going to quit. The next one is reward yourself. Now, me personally, I love rewarding myself with a cupcake, or, if I go to the gym today, I'm going to treat myself to some pizza. Well, that's just very counterproductive. So don't reward yourself with food. Reward yourself with a pedicure or a manicure. Maybe treat yourself to a piece of fitness clothing, something as a goal. If I go to the gym 4 times this week, I am going to buy a new nail polish and do my nails this weekend, or a new lipstick that I've been wanting. And then it's just kind of a nice little treat and a reward. When I was competing in fitness, I couldn't have food rewards many times, so I would treat myself to other things. Like I said, sometimes I would get cheat meals, so that would be my reward, but more often than not, I didn't. So I would reward myself with a manicure or a pedicure or something special that I really enjoyed, or maybe buy your favorite bubble bath and bath salts and treat yourself to a nice soak. So having a little reward is also really helpful. Now, as far as the fitness or exercise, I know to a lot of people it's just like, ugh, I can't imagine going to a gym and lifting weights. It's just not my scene. You need to figure out what you enjoy. Maybe you like dancing, maybe you like karate, maybe swimming, kickboxing, yoga, Pilates. There are so many different ways to move your body and exercise, and you just have to find what you really enjoy. I personally love dance, choreography, that sort of thing, so I am gravitated towards movement, dance, that sort of thing. So whether it's aerobics, I used to love like the Thai bow, that was back out many years ago. It was a little bit of kickboxing, a little bit of dance. I just really enjoyed that. So you need to figure out what you enjoy. Some people love running. For me, I just think, oh, I can't do that for 30 minutes straight doing the same thing. I would just kill myself. But some people find it very relaxing and almost meditative. So the next thing you need to think about is what you enjoy doing. And it's a trial and error, you know, go try it for something at the rec center. You know, don't invest a lot of money into a class that you're not 100% sure, or whatever it is that you want to do. Don't sign up for a year of karate and you go to the first class and think, what was I thinking? So just start off small, try and do things that are inexpensive, that sort of thing. And another thing I just want to add is, I know they often say do the buddy system, but I am very opposed to that, because you know what happens? You guys get on track, you know, let's go, whatever it is, let's walk every Friday at lunch. And then your buddy next Friday says, oh, I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm going to miss. Well, guess what? You're going to miss too. So I find they're motivating, but then they also unmotivate you as well, because if they don't go, then you don't go. That's just what I have found out. Me personally, I like to do classes at the beginning. I find, especially when you are so far removed, you haven't worked out in a long time, maybe never, so you know you're not in the best of shape. So I kind of like to hide in a group of people. You know, that way you're not getting one-on-one focused attention staring at you. If you can't keep up with the class, or maybe it's a little bit too much choreography, or whatever the reason, you can't hold a position for as long as everybody else, like at yoga, you kind of hide into the crowd, and I really enjoy that. For me personally, I just kind of like to melt into everybody else, where I'm not getting undivided focused attention on me, and the people are noticing that, yeah, you're really out of shape. Because I've been there. I take a lot of breaks. I have done this my whole life. I'm an all or nothing kind of person, and I'm like bang I've got to do it. I go to the gym every day. I'm super dedicated, and then I burn out. That is where I am right now, because the last time I was working out, I was competing, and I made it to the provincial level and qualified for nationals, and I was just done, and I'm still burnt out from it. But when I do go back, I'm going to do it through a class, so that way I can work at my own pace and then slowly build up resistance, and where I'm a little bit more in shape, where I'm more comfortable being one-on-one possibly. And from there, I'm going to say hiring a trainer, if you have the means, is an excellent idea. They make you accountable. I just found, you know, if I was meeting with, because I used to meet with my trainer once a week generally, and the night before I'd think, oh, you know, I'm going to have a piece of cake, and then I'd think, oh, I'm meeting with my trainer tomorrow, so maybe I shouldn't. So I just found like I never wanted to disappoint her, and so I always kept up with all my homework, because she knew when I saw her if I had been doing what she had asked me to do, and she could always tell that I had been, you know, practicing things and working on things outside of us meeting one-on-one. So I think a trainer is an excellent idea, but I also find at the very beginning, when you're first starting out, for me personally, I don't want that undivided attention at the beginning when I'm so out of shape and I just can't keep up, and I just don't want someone drilling at me, okay, 10 more, when you feel like you're gonna puke. That to me is just not fun. So I kind of did a lot of stuff on my own for a while, and then I was ready to start with the trainer. But I think it's an excellent idea. Make sure you do your research. I've worked with so many trainers, and I've had some really good ones, and I've had some really bad ones. So make sure you do a lot of research, do reviews, word of mouth, that sort of thing, to make sure you find the right trainer. Some trainers also offer packages where you work in groups. You don't get as much one-on-one, but it does lessen the cost a little because they are quite expensive, and it is definitely a luxury. The next thing, if you want to do fat burning, I know I mentioned doing classes and things, but I don't find those will give you the results. If you want results, you need to lift weights. And I know that sounds crazy, and people think, I don't want to become a bodybuilder and da-da-da-da-da. You won't. You have to lift very heavy weights to get in that kind of shape. I know when I first started, I thought, oh, I'm not lifting anything. I was lifting very heavy weights at the end, and I was teeny tiny. So you do need to build muscle mass to burn fat. So I highly encourage you to lift weights. I know it's, for me, I find it so boring. I really enjoy doing classes. Another thing why I like classes is the camaraderie. I've met so many great ladies that way, and I find doing weights is a little bit lonely. I would just go and put on my earphones and kind of do my own thing. However, that is how I got the most results. The next one, now I'm getting kind of onto diet and health. And of course, this isn't so that you guys can be fitness people. This is just some tiny little things if you are interested in starting to have a more healthy lifestyle, just a little bit more exercise and trying to eat more healthy. So the next one is so important, and it's to eliminate sugar. And by sugar, I mean, I don't mean like an apple fruit sugars. I'm talking about white sugar, whether it's agave syrup, all those kinds of things, they're all sugar. Just stay away. And the reason why I am a huge sweet tooth, I will look at a dessert menu before I would look at a regular menu. That's just me. I'm desserts. I love them. I'm obsessed with them, but I just know how bad they are for you. They are so addictive. If I have one piece of sugar, my brain, it gets this worm in my brain that I'm like, I want more, I want more, I want more. It is extremely addictive, and it is so bad for you, and that is what puts on the weight. And I'll tell you how I know that. Well, I've learned that I've had that drilled into me, but I'm telling you proof. When I was doing my training, and I would get super lean when I was in prep mode, and let's just say a month out of show, I was very lean. I had six-pack, all that. And my coach would say, go have a burger and fries as your cheat meal. She would usually tell me exactly what my cheat meal needed to be, a big breakfast, something like that. So let's say it was a burger and fries. I'd be bloated afterwards, but the next day I had my six-pack abs again. I was back normal, all good. The following week she would say, okay, have a burger, fries, and a piece of cheesecake. And the next day I would have a spare tire, and it would probably take me 3 or 4 days to get rid of it. And I could see this spare tire around me because I was so lean. So I knew the difference right away when I had consumed sugar, and it was so hard to get rid of. It took a few days, and for the next few nights, I had that worm in my brain. I want more cheesecake. I want another piece of cheese. I want some cookies. I want something, because it just starts sitting in my brain, that stupid worm, and it takes forever to get rid of it. I did a sugar detox quite a few years ago when I was doing like paleo, just my own fun. I was just following the paleo kind of diet. And a lady, her name is Diane Sanfilippo, I think her name, I'll link it below. She wrote an amazing book on it. Was called A Sugar Detox. So one was a book, and then she also had a recipe book. It was fantastic, and it helps you get off sugar, but she's still giving you like a little bit of fruit and things like that. So you're not totally eliminating it, but just getting rid of it. Sugar is in so many packaged foods. It's unbelievable. So my husband is trying to cut back on sugar as well. He has been for quite a few years. I looked at a yogurt. He used to eat like vanilla fruit bottom yogurt. I think it had the same amount of sugar in it as a bowl of ice cream. So just so you know, read sugar on labels if you buy any sorts of packaged foods, which I'm going to rant on in a minute. But if you do have some packaged foods, always check the sugar content. Same with cereals. Boxed cereals. I think the only cereals that I have found that don't have sugar in them are shredded wheat, and Cheerios has a tiny bit, but not a ton. The rest, even ones like Corn Flakes, they all have sugar in them. I looked on a box of chicken strips. My husband likes those. And on the package of chicken strips, they have sugar in them. I mean, I ask you. So sugar is highly addictive, and it is in so many things. And if you can get rid of it, it's very difficult. Trust me. That is what puts weight on. So if you can look at sugar in your diet, definitely try and cut back on that. The next one is eating clean. I have been eating clean for quite a few years. I've done, there's a million diets out there. I've tried them all, most of them anyway. Eat clean isn't really a diet. I mean, it's called the Eat Clean diet, but it's technically, all it is eating whole foods, not eating packaged products. So you don't eat crackers, you don't eat boxes of cereal, you don't eat anything that's in the middle aisles of the grocery store unless it's like canned tomatoes that are just tomatoes in there. So I will link below Tosca Reno. I believe she's the one that named the Eat Clean diet. I've actually been to one of her seminars and met her in person. If you're not familiar with who she is, she made up this Eat Clean diet. Her husband, before he passed away, is Robert Kennedy. He is the publisher of all those Muslim fitness magazines. He was very involved in the fitness industry, so she and he knew his stuff. And I've met her, as I said, and I've even bought her cookbooks. And that's what she follows. And if you take a look at her, she's absolutely stunning. I think she's maybe close to 60 right now, and she just looks amazing. She has also been a fitness competitor herself, but now she's just a healthy, fit woman and looks absolutely fabulous. So I highly recommend looking into eating clean. And it's also the same as like the Whole30, just eating whole foods. So just buying from the fruits and veggies section, basically the perimeter of the grocery store with a few small exceptions. So that is one I definitely would encourage you to look at, is eliminating processed foods, granola bars, all that. When I buy yogurt, I just buy plain Greek yogurt. No fruit bottom, and I just add my own blueberries. I know it's not as sweet, but once you start getting off sugar, you don't need all that extra sweetness. Just the taste of the blueberries and the yogurt together will be enough. Trust me, but it does take time, I promise you. And another one, this is one that my coach told me, and it makes so much sense, is to eat small meals every few hours, like as in every 3 hours. And I don't mean go eat a whole big something, you know, even if it's just like an apple and some almonds, or an apple and some almond butter. It's just a nice little snack, because how she used to say it, and it made so much sense, is to keep the fire burning, and the fire as in your metabolism. So when your metabolism is going, you are burning fat, you're burning calories, you're using that food as energy. If you're not, it's just sitting in your body and is just going to turn to fat. And how you know your metabolism is working is in 2.5 to 3 hours, your stomach's going to start growling. I know that sounds weird, but as soon as my stomach starts growling, I'm like, yes, I know my metabolism is working. So then I eat a small snack and keep that fire burning. And she always said that to me, and it makes so much sense. But sometimes people just get carried away with that. Have a meal every 3 hours, and they eat a plate of lasagna, and then 3 hours later they have a bowl of spaghetti. I'm talking small meals, and if you're looking at that Eat Clean diet, you'll see a lot of great recipes there. And last but not least, don't expect Rome to be built in a day. I know you put in all this work and you think, oh, come on, I probably lost 5 pounds, I've been working out like crazy, and then you've actually gained 2. My weight will fluctuate. And when I was doing prep, I mean, I worked my fanny off. I'm talking, I trained 6 days a week on very minimal food and calories. I was eating next to nothing and doing cardio every single day, sometimes twice a day, and my scale wouldn't budge. For me, also, don't really look at the scale, but look at how your clothes are fitting. If they're feeling a little bit looser and feeling a little bit more comfortable, because that's usually my telltale signs. When my clothes start feeling a little bit snug, I think, okay, I need to tighten things up and clean up my diet a little, because I know over Christmas you kind of tend to stray a little, and like I said, once you start having a little bit of that sugar, it starts getting addictive, and then you start doing it every night and it starts becoming a habit. So again, don't expect Rome to be built in one day. I know when I was doing prep, I think probably the first 3 months I didn't really see a lot of changes. My coach could see changes, but I couldn't really see a lot of them, and all of a sudden, whoosh, I started seeing a lot of changes. So don't beat yourself up if you've not changed a dress size in a month. I mean, it does take a long time, so just do small goals, small wins, and just reward yourself appropriately. So anyway, this is just the start of just something I thought I would put out there for you guys, because a couple of you have reached out to me, because I know January tends to be a time when a lot of people think about starting new healthy habits and want to incorporate some of these things into their lifestyle. So these are kind of the 10 things that I would definitely recommend that are small steps to get you in that direction. So I hope this helps, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I might add some more things like this in the future if you're interested. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!